In today's video, we're going to talk you through 3 key fundamentals, how you can increase club head speed, hit longer, straighter golf shots, also while swinging potentially a little bit slower and a little bit more in sequence like this. Hi everyone, my name's James Robinson. Welcome back to this YouTube channel. Guys, in today's video, we're going to help you get good at hitting longer, straighter irons. That 8 iron went 156 yards for me. That is a shot which I really enjoy playing. And the reason why I can play that so consistently is I don't try to hit at the golf ball. I don't try to create as much physical club head speed as possible. You can see, guys, I actually swung a lot faster there in that second swing, and that's only carried 135 yards. So I've lost 20 yards there. You can see on the replay, it's not a really functional golf swing. It's not something I can repeat time after time. So how can I do this? How can I actually swing? Everyone remembers golf swings like Ernie Els, Adam Scott, Louis Oosthuizen, who all swing really, really nicely, but all swing within a nice fluid motion and keep what we call a nice tempo or even rhythm to that golf swing, such as that was a really nicely struck 8 iron. That will go around 155 yards again, I would presume. Oh, it's gone 160 yards in the air, that one, because again, I had a nice slow rhythm, and look at that for a finishing position. That's exactly what we do want in the golf swing. So again, if I want to hit the golf ball further, did you notice how straight that last shot was as well? I can start to really think about that rhythm, and I've recreated that same golf shot. So I would imagine this should be the same thereabouts as the last one. Exactly the same to the yard carry, 165.63 yards, a nice backspin on there as well. Now, how do I do that? It's all about the sequence. It's all about how I load up into the backswing. Yes, the rhythm of the backswing is nice and kind of fluid and rhythmical, but it's actually in a proper sequence where I can build more momentum, I can build more speed, and by more speed, I mean more club head speed that should result in more ball speed that should actually help us, again, hit longer, straighter golf shots. So I do this by making sure that my lower half stays nice and stable on the takeaway. We have covered this on numerous videos before, but it's so important. I do like to keep checking it off for you. And guys, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So lower half stays nice and stable, upper half moves away to start with. Then as you start kind of setting the wrists here, that's where your weight will move back into this trail side. Your actual leg might straighten a bit because that hip likes to move backwards. Then you are at the top of the backswing in a nice, lovely position. Now, what you've done here is separate your upper and lower half of your body. So from there, you can actually transition by moving your weight left, rotating that lower body. You'll see it's almost a squatting down motion here. If I hit you a shot, we're going to focus on the replay here. And again, I'm going to try and go really, really nice rhythm. And again, that shot's going to be around probably 160 again, because I've put such a good rhythm and strike on it. 162 yards in the air. I'm starting to get this now. Look at the replay. Look at how I almost squat down in my transition. I get to the top of the backswing, and from there I almost squat down and move into that golf ball. That allows me to properly rotate down into impact. It allows me to use my lower half of the body, and it allows me to, while swinging just a little bit smoother, get strikes like that. This is now a strike show of straight golf shots, all traveling further than they were before. I can't believe how much distance. We do this a lot here on Get Good at Golf. We show you guys videos, we show you guys drills to do, which Chris is going to do in a second, and it actually improves our game. So guys, thank you so much for improving our game, helping us get good at golf, because these numbers that I'm finding, Chris, I need to practice this.
You do.
Look at this, right. So before Chris gives us a drill, remember, it's all about that takeaway, separating upper and lower body, get to the top in a nice smooth rhythm, and then recreate that rhythm, but in reverse on the way down. That's going to allow us to square the club face up, move the club probably quicker through the ball, but it feels like it's slower. And again, we have hit a lovely big high fade. Guys, Chris is now going to show you a couple of drills that you can use to help you do this. It is a phenomenal way of picking up more ball speed, of hitting straighter golf shots. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not done already.
So guys, we want to give you some drills for on the driving range, so we want to make sure that you can do this to help you with your sequence. And a lot of people get down there, you've seen loads of drills, but you're not sure what you necessarily do wrong. And one of the biggest things I see from amateurs, especially your higher handicappers, is that we lose connection straight away. We're trying to take this club away nice and quick. Arms lose connection. We then get up to the top. We've got this elbow out here. We then go from here. We're trying to recover. I'm going to try and hit at it. And we start to get very straight as we come into impact. We're losing a lot of loft and we've got no sequence. We're out of breath. We've hit a shot, but we've got no real control. We don't know where it's gone. I've put everything into it. We're quitting golf because we've not got the strike we want. So we want to think about connection in the takeaway, but we also want to think about getting your stance correct from the start. So to get and generate a correct sequence, we have to make sure that we don't get this stance too wide or too narrow. The main one I start to see is too wide. Once we're too wide, this is when we start to see you move off the ball, arm comes off, we're in this kind of position, and we've got no real strength to create any kind of sequence, so we hang back, we top the ball, we thin the ball, we do all the shots nobody wants to see, and we don't lower our handicap. So when we're getting into this set, once we're getting into this setup, what we want to do is be able to get shoulder width apart. And that is for some people feeling like, okay, yes, it is my shoulder. It's a little bit wider than my hips. It's not what everybody does and goes, okay, right, I'm going to be in here. Yeah, that's shoulder width apart because the outside of my feet are shoulder width. That's not going to allow us to be able to load onto this right-hand side, and we're going to be we're going to be in a very weak position from there. So the drill that I want you to do for this technique is using a towel, but to get your setup correct, I want you to have an alignment stick or a club between your legs to make sure we can start to see. If I'm very narrow, we know that is not my shoulder width. We can start to make sure that, right, I set the club, I build my stance, and before I hit a shot, I'm checking that before I do this drill that James has got for me. So we have a towel on your bag, or we hope you do. We hope you clean your clubs more than the mid-handicapper on my channel. Dave Harrison never cleans his clubs. It's a disgrace, really. But let's use this towel now for a drill. We're going to pop this under both arms, and if I now bring my club up because I know my setup is good, we want to start to see that my first motion is chest and arms working together. You can see from down the line there, that club is in a good position. It's matching my spine angle. And then from here, I can load up to the top, and my arms are keeping connection. Yes, that looks like, oh, it's only gone 3/4, but when we do this at full speed, we will see that that'll generate a little bit longer, and then I can get down into the sequence, down into this impact position, and through that golf ball with some loft off. So we can do shots here where you get into your stance, we come in, we set up, build my stance, shoulder width apart, and we just hit some nice and easy swings, just a half a swing, starting to see that I have control on my finish. You see there, start line, straight down the middle of the driving range, and that's what we want to do. If with this, we have more control on the club face, we have more control on the start line, and we also have more control on the spin, which is the biggest thing. We then know how it's going to stop on the green. Once we're comfortable with this, we can build that up to go a 3/4 shot, a little bit longer, and you'll see there, leaked it a little bit right, a little bit of timing there with my hands. That's where we need to start to work on our release as part of the sequence. So after that, after 3/4, we take the towel out and we go exactly what I've just said there. We've built the stance, we've ticked that, we've ticked your backswing, we've ticked your backswing sequence. Now we want to talk about around impact and at the golf ball. A lot of people don't know, am I holding it off? I've seen a lot of tour players who finish with a shorn off finish, they're really holding that loft off, but we want to be releasing that into impact. So when I come in there, we should start to see, when I come down into this position now in my sequence, we're all nice and square. From here, I'm turning, so it's a combination of, we always talk about, of turn and release. I have to let that club head release to square up into impact. And we want to hear the most amount of speed down at the golf ball. So we've got our stance, we've got our connection, and let's really get that speed and that release down at the golf ball. And you'll see there, a combination of both. I'm in balance, I'm turned to target, the straightest shot I've hit, and 170 yards carry. So perfect distance for my 8 iron. and it could be for any club that you've got, but give those drills a go, get into that pattern, start to get your sequence better, guys. You'll start to hit better shots, longer shots, and get good at golf.